So ours go beyond that 4 to 6 feet range. And really the reason is to direct the water out to the street or to a proper drain to make sure it doesn't get into the basement and, cause a leak in the basement, or worse, it can create foundation problems, both from the deterioration of the foundation itself, but also the hydrostatic pressure of the water just building up there and pushing in on the wall.
Hey everyone, it's Lawrence Mack here from Remax Realtron. I'm here with Michael Schmidt from Housemaster Home Inspections. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing well. Thanks a lot for having me, Lawrence.
Hey, no problem. Just wanted to show everybody, I guess, today wanted to talk about maybe eaves troughs, downspouts, gutters, that kind of stuff, just from a home maintenance point of view and what you look for normally during your inspections. Just for everyone to know, Michael Schmidt is a very experienced home inspector. He did several hundred last year and has done thousands of houses. So he's quite experienced. And so I'm looking forward to learning stuff about eaves troughs and downspouts. Michael, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks, Lawrence. Thanks for having me. When we're talking about a home inspection or home and maintenance, water is a big problem. And so we want to keep water out of our house. We want to keep it out of the roof. We want to keep it out of the foundation. So here I am at my house, and we have the downspouts that come across the eaves and run down the gutters. I'll kind of show you mine right here, so that it can drive the water away from the house. So you can kind of see coming down and out and away. And I bring mine quite away from the house. If I back up over here, you can see it runs all the way out to the sidewalk. And the reason that we do that, we want to have the downspout at least 4 to 6 feet away from the foundation. But with these downtown Toronto homes, you can see I live in downtown Toronto. Homes are very close together, very little real estate in between the homes. So if you come over here, you can kind of see, the space between my home and the next home. There isn't a lot. So you want to drive those downspouts out far away. You can see my neighbor; he's also done a good job. So ours go beyond that 4 to 6 feet range. And really, the reason is to direct the water out to the street or to a proper drain to make sure it doesn't get into the basement and, cause a leak in the basement, or worse, it can create foundation problems, both from the deterioration of the foundation itself, but also the hydrostatic pressure of the water just building up there and pushing in on the wall. So that's a big reason why we want to direct the downspouts away. Longer the better when you're in downtown Toronto. Another thing to point out in downtown Toronto is a few years ago, the city made it so you could no longer put your downspouts into the what do I want to say, the wastewater system, or not the wastewater, but the storm drain system. So you have to cap your pipe. You can see my foot. I'm trying to point to where we capped it up there before. You can kind of see where the downspout used to come, and now it's directed to the front of the house and then out on this side and out to the street. So that's something that if you're living in downtown Toronto and you still have your downspouts going in to the storm drain system, you're going to need to alleviate that. Another thing that I'd like to point out is, as you can see, it's pretty narrow in between these two homes, between my home and my neighbors, and water will accumulate in this area. Even if you have your downspouts going away properly, both to the alleyway at the back of my house or up front to the street, sometimes water can still collect here between the homes. We want to have somewhere to go for that water to go. Now, grading will do a big part of that. The angle of the actual sidewalk out to the street or out to the alley, but sometimes it's necessary to put in a storm drain. So we have a drain right here between our two homes to take some of that water, and then it brings it. I believe ours goes straight out to the street to the storm drain system. So then it can go away from the house and not find its way into the basement. Now I want to show you how we've done it in the backyard, because we had to take it out of the drain back there as well. In the back here, we have a flat roof. The eaves troughs come over here and then down. On this side, you can see one connects from the back extension, the other one connects from the roof up there and comes down and out. And we extended that very, very far away. So you might be able to see it goes all the way away from the house, past the basketball, all the way over there to the grill. It's probably a good 15, 20 feet plus. And the reason we did that is because you can see it's not a big backyard, but it's also very flat. There isn't a lot of place for that water to go. So if that water accumulates, it can find its way into the basement. So as you are purchasing a house or maintaining your own, you want to make sure that those downspouts do extend a decent ways away from your foundation. And periodically, once a year, usually in the fall, you definitely want to make sure that you maintain your eaves troughs by cleaning them out. If you're a handy person and you're not afraid of heights, you can get up on the ladder, do it yourself. Otherwise, you can find many various contractors come out and clean the gutters either by hand or with special equipment to relieve those from leaves and debris and stuff that accumulate in the eaves troughs. You should do that about once a year.
That's awesome, Michael. Just wondering, so when you're inspecting a home and you're looking at the eaves troughs and the downspouts, what are you looking for in terms of like a pass fail or whether it's satisfactory?
Well, you definitely want to make sure that your eaves troughs are, as I mentioned, getting directed the right way away from the foundation. So that's usually kind of the first thing that I look at. You want to make sure that or the downspouts rather, you want to have them going a good ways away from the foundation. You want to make sure your eaves troughs are secure and not damaged. So periodically they can rust. That can lead to the water not being properly directed away. They can be loose, either from age or maybe wind damage or even like a tree falling on them, something like that. And you want to make sure that they're not full. So when I'm doing my roof inspection, getting up on the roof or at the eaves with a ladder to look at the shingles and other areas of the roofing, we want to make sure we are looking to make sure that those eaves troughs are relatively clean so that water can go through them. The other issue with eaves troughs being full is that if they get full of debris, then that can lead water to accumulate and even freeze in the winter months and fall months. And that can lead to them getting heavy and then actually pulling off the side of the house.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the gutter guards and that kind of stuff to prevent the leaves going in? Is that
I would say it's a personal choice. Certainly the gutter guard people make claims that it's hassle-free and worry-free. I find that you will actually get debris on top of those gutter guards, which leads to that having to be cleaned off itself.
Right.
So while it does keep the debris outside of the interior of the gutter, and therefore it won't lead to heavy duty damage like I was describing, where it almost becomes a sponge and then it freezes and then it pulls off the side of the house, it could lead to the gutters really not functioning and the water just kind of coming over the top of the gutter guards. And then the water really isn't being directed away from the house. It's just falling at the perimeter of the foundation.
Okay, so personal choice, but it's not as good as the salespeople make it out to be.
Yeah, I would say that various products have various benefits. So some may work better than others.
Great. So any other tips you can think of, just in terms of the way? I mean, at the end of the day, we're just trying to prevent water from getting near the foundation of the house. So.
The biggest thing that I can tell you is just having an extension on a downspout like I have here. This little piece of metal, it's going to maybe cost me like $10 or $15 at Home Depot or Lowe's or your hardware store of choice. And it can go a long way to preventing water from getting in the basement or having movement in your sidewalks and stuff like that. So this is a real easy thing that a homeowner can do with relatively low cost to make sure that they don't have problems in the future. So that's the big thing. Spend a little bit of money, a little bit of time on a weekend to make sure you don't wind up with problems down the road.
Great. So anyway, I think that was a really comprehensive look at the different eaves, troughs, and downspouts. I wanted to thank Michael Schmidt from Housemaster Home Inspections. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Lawrence. Appreciate it.
All right, and I'm Lawrence Mack from Remax. Talk to you soon. Bye.